awesome guy. Let me just read this resume. Higher cultural virtuoso. He's got a business he doesn't even talk about that's flourishing. He is a international speaker, best-selling author, collective coaching for mortgage originators, and I'm sure I could go on and on and on and on. But Kyle Draper, dude, so awesome to have you here, man. Such a pleasure.
I'm honored. Thank you for having me, boys.
Yeah, and we were just talking about in the green room about how you were one of the highlights of the Mortgage Con, man. And I'm just excited to have you here with us. And you do amazing things. I see you've been traveling all over the world and having some fun, man.
What is that? 9 books back there, Kyle? Is there?
You know, 9? I'm embarrassed to say that I am 3 books behind. We just released our 13th book.
Wow.
And I don't even have the last 4 of them represented in the background. So I got some authors that are probably ticked off at me.
Well, you just did a great book, and I need to pick it up with a really good friend of mine, Gemma Pasciano.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They, Gemma and Meg Handy, they crushed a home buyer's book.
Did they?
And it's so good.
Did you are all your books just like, do you need white label on your books or just your books personally?
They're all ours.
Oh, okay. Okay.
We're not smart enough to do them any other way. So we just do them ourselves.
I want to tell you guys something. So Devin, Kyle, and I were talking the night before.
Right here.
Is that one? You got one?
That's the OG.
The first one, man, the OG.
Yep.
And my favorite color, purple, you know?
So good.
Well, tell us a little bit about yourself, man. I know that you've done many things, but like, tell us a little bit about yourself for people that I don't think you need an introduction, but let's do this.
Yeah. Well, let me first say that I'm very under the weather this morning. And so I've got a cough drop in. So if you see it in my mouth and think, man, that doesn't feel very professional, it's not. But it's also the only way that I can do this. And I even slept on the couch last night so that my wife could have a peaceful night's sleep because I was hacking my lungs up. And so I'm battling some adversity to be here, and thankful for all you guys for joining. I have kind of a weird story to get to this live show. I was a pastor for 10 years. In my 20s, and I thought that I was going to do that my entire life. I was a 5th generation pastor. And when I turned 30, I felt like God told me to go be a pastor to business people. And so I resigned from our church, moved my family to Oklahoma, got into roofing. And that is where I started meeting a ton of real estate agents. And so I know all of you probably network a little bit. Half of every networking room is realtors. And so I met a lot of them really quick. And I was doing roofing, learning sales and marketing, learning social media. And guys, I have this really unique relationship with God. And when I ask him things, he typically answers. And I prayed one day and I said, God, what am I great at? What do realtors suck at? And what's that crossroad? What's that intersection? And it was social media. And I thought, I don't know social media. I'm not good at social media. I just know how to show up on it and suck my way through it. And very quickly, he revealed to me that as long as I know 1% more than the people I'm trying to serve, I'll never run out of ways to serve them.
Amen.
And that has been my message, my career up to this point, right? That was 13 years ago. I'm 43 years old now. And I just believe that every time I show up, that if I know one little thing that you don't know, maybe that's the nugget that you're here for. That's what you've been praying for. That's what you've been hoping to find. And I've just kept going. And so I did roofing. And then I got out of roofing because, like Devin, I'm a large human. And I think there were people that would go, wait a second, you're going to climb on my roof? Am I looking at the same guy that you look at? Like, you're huge. And as I did more damage to roofs than I assessed them, I realized, man, roofing's not for me. And so I started a company building websites for realtors. That company lost hundreds of thousands of dollars, but it was the caveat that got me to teaching social media classes to realtors. And I just never looked back. And so now I get to travel all over the place, teaching people, loving on people, equipping people. And man, we've written some books along the way. And like Scott, you said, we've got a virtual assistant company that is doing really well, though we don't tell very many people about it. And man, I wake up every day with this deep desire to leave people better than I find them. And that's my only goal. And it's brought me here with you guys this morning.
It's amazing, man. No, I appreciate that. And that's why we're kind of cut from the same cloth, because I say it all the time, man. Zero expectation of anything in return. Leave people better than you found them. So, Kyle, we can go a million different directions. I love to talk to you all day. But what are you seeing that's working for the loan officers today that they might not know of or be doing, or like what do you, when you coach loan officers, what's the magical?
Scott, I think this is the single biggest blind spot that most LOs have. And it is that we have been told that we need to keep meeting new people. We need to keep bringing more people into our ecosystem. And what I've watched LOs do now for over a decade is they will step on the backs of the people that already love them and trust them to go convert the 1% of the people that don't know who they are yet. And so to me, the single greatest nugget that somebody can glean from our time together this morning is you don't need to know more people. I've never met a loan officer that wanted to close more deals than they already had connections. But what's fascinating is I can talk to a loan officer that says, right, like Margot could say, I want to do 100 deals this year. And I go, oh, that's great. That's a great number. How many Facebook friends do you have? And her face will get super dejected and go, oh, only 800. And you say it like you're a loser, when 800 is so significantly larger than 100. And yet we will talk down on ourselves, not believe in our capabilities, go spend a bunch of money on ads and leads, because our industry has taught us in order to grow, we need more people. And what I've seen for over a decade now is that if you will simply show up and love and serve the people you already have, you'll never want for business a day in your life. And so I set out to prove that this year. I was looking at my companies at the end of 25, and obviously the goal would be to grow all of them. And I asked myself, like, what's the one thing that if I did it for each of them, everything would grow? Mark Hairston, what's up, man? My guy. And it was, I already know way more people than I ever needed to know. I just need to show up to them more often. And so I laid out a plan to record 10 videos every day for 2026, and not videos to be famous, not videos to go viral, not videos to try to grow a following, but one-to-one videos that were intended to be between me and one person. And I've hit 10 videos like 3 times so far this year. So I'm failing miserably at my goal, but I'm winning significantly because even falling short of 10, I'm being so top of mind to my people. And so, for example, the other day, 3 Fridays ago, I recorded 15 videos in 20 minutes sitting in my office, and they were all different. A couple of them were birthday videos. A couple of them were check-ins with some leads that we had a call, and I was following up with them. A few of them were just to influence people of influence in our industry, just saying, hey, you probably don't know this, but I have a virtual assistant company, and I know you don't need it. Your business is incredible, But if you talk to people that feel burnt out, that are frustrated, that are wanting to grow but struggling to grow, I'd love to know them. And guys, like this, lead after lead after lead after connection after connection. And on that one day, I brought over 20 grand of recurring revenue into our pipeline of our company for 20 minutes of effort, and it cost me nothing. And so that to me is the mantra for any originator that's been in this industry for more than 2 years, is that you already know enough people to be more successful than you currently are. So go love on them, go serve them, and watch the impact it has on your company.
It just it blows my mind that we're searching, you said try to turn the cold into a hot, try to get the 1% when we have 10, 20, 30, 40% people that are on the show before. They say, I just call the people that I know and say hello. I don't even know call to action, no nothing. And my pipeline grows.
Right.
Just by saying hello.
Yep.
So how do you turn off the noise, Kyle? Like how do you because I think we become webinar junkies. We become like AI. Like I get an invite to an AI, learn AI, master AI. Like it's just the thing. Everybody's selling and doing and selling and doing.
Yeah.
You just turn it off?
No, I don't know that anybody I think is a liar that says, oh yeah, we just turn the noise off. Like you're some superhuman that isn't susceptible to distraction. And so what I've found, Scott, is for me, and I think this can be true for anybody, if I am really intentional, my business wins when I'm intentional for 3 to 4 hours a day. Because if I'm being honest, I can sit in my office for 10 hours today and accomplish nothing, but my wife thinks I'm working hard.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
And if I recorded a couple videos, like the world thinks I'm working hard, but the reality was I was doing mindless tasks that don't move the needle while watching my favorite Netflix show. And that's what we call a good day's work. Because I worked for 10 hours. No, I didn't. And so for me, when I'm doing my videos, I mean, that Friday took me 20 minutes to send those videos.
Crazy.
Those were the only intentional minutes in my day that day. I did
minutes.
other things, but those were the most intentional minutes that moved the needle the most. And it required 20 minutes and zero money.
Crazy.
And so I think that's I think the real key, Scott, is like, at what point do we just start being honest with ourselves? Man, I'm so busy. I just don't have time. Really? You don't have time. So if your favorite movie star called you today to have lunch, you would go, oh, sorry, I don't have time. Heck no. You'd be going to lunch with your favorite movie star. Right? Dirk Nowitzki is my favorite athlete of all time. If Dirk called me today and wanted to go to dinner, guess who's going to dinner with Dirk tonight? The really busy guy that told 1,000 other people he was too busy. We make time for what we value. And I think for most of us, we just spend time valuing the wrong things because our industry's convinced us that those are the things we need to be successful. And all most of them do is turn our people off so that we can go find the one random person that likes us that was a stranger yesterday. And that's what we call success. And I hate that that's true about our industry.
Yeah, me too, man. Greg Garrett's got a great question. If you want to talk about this, at what point do we need a VA? Can you tell us about the company cost? And like, I was going to ask you, what are you seeing LOs use your VAs for to have to get stuff off their plate?
Yeah. So I know I'm biased because I own a VA company, but I think everybody needs a VA right now. If you value your time, right? When we look at our dollar per hour, we need a VA right now. I remember in 8th grade, I was being a butthole to my dad, and we had people that mowed our lawn. And I was like, Dad, why don't you mow our lawn? All my friends' dads mow their lawns.
Mm.
And in 8th grade, my dad said, Kyle, let me teach you a lesson about money. If you don't understand your worth, you will do the bottom barrel of the tasks every day.
Mm.
And he said, Kyle, my times were $200 an hour. And so for me to be able to pay somebody $10 an hour to mow my yard, that gives me a huge advantage over my competition. And I think when that's our mindset, shoot, we can all think of things right now that we spend way too much time doing, that we're not good at. It's not in our wheelhouse. It's not in our genius. It doesn't move the needle, but it helps us feel busy. It helps us feel important.
Mm.
And so most of us struggle to let go because we like feeling important. And so with that being said, I mean, the wheelhouse of a VA is all things marketing first. And so graphic design, video editing, social media management, copywriting, right? All of those things that the average LO hates, that most of them just don't do because they don't enjoy it. They just don't do it. When the reality is that's where all the people live that they already know, is on social media. But because we've perverted our mindset but social media is about growing a following. It's about going viral. It's about getting thousands of views. So when the video you do gets 18 views, well, now all of a sudden you're not as excited about it. And this guy, Kyle Draper's a liar. When the reality is one of those 18 people could be your next buyer. But we won't do it because our industry's convinced us we've got to grow a following. We've got to become an influencer. And so we've got to bring some truth to our perspective. And social media is the easiest place to start. We had a mortgage company a couple months ago. They hired 3 VAs. They hired a social media manager that does graphic design, video editing, all those things. They hired a CRM manager that oversees their CRM, helps them build out drip campaigns, helps them write email copy. And then the owner of that company came to me one day and said, Kyle, I've got 10,000 plus past clients. And we're not doing anything with those people. And so they hired a VA to be what we would call a warm caller, because it's not cold calling. And they pick up the phone on behalf of the LO attached to that deal. So they're making a call as Margot's assistant. They're making a call as Mike's assistant. They're making a call as Eddie's assistant. Just trying to resurrect some refis, some cash outs, whatever the need may be. And then they get that lead as quickly as possible back to the LO that had the lead to begin with. And that position cost them probably $1,200 a month. And so y'all are all better at math than me. How many deals a year does it take for that to make a lot of sense?
4.
And so, we've got VAs that start at like $867 a month for like general admin stuff. And then we're about to place a paralegal that will be like $4,000 a month.
Wow.
So even then, that's probably a $10,000 a month position if you're hiring them, stateside. So that's kind of the gambit. If hopefully all that made sense.
Any questions for Kyle that anybody has? He's wide open. He's here with us. I don't want to take up the whole time. Anybody have any questions for him besides the VA? Greg, did that help? Greg's a great guy, by the way. He could probably get into a lot of local bank, or like not local banks, but banks. Period. He works in the banking industry.
And so let me talk to this scenario right now. So a typical salesperson would be like, "Ooh, Greg asked that question. When we're done, I'm going to ask Scott and Devin to give me Greg's information, and I'm going to go hard after Greg, because why would you ask that question if you weren't on the verge of wanting a VA? And now I'm a blood in the water salesperson." When my perspective on sales is, I see an interest in Greg. I know for a fact that Greg knows people that I don't know, whether it's one person or 50 people. And so I'm going to just do my best to love and serve Greg. I'm not going to ask him for anything. I'm not going to send him a text message saying, hey, man, I'd love to talk to you more about VAs. Because this is what frustrates me about our industry is we don't know how to see beyond the person in front of us. And so what I've learned about math over the years is that Devin can only give me his money one time. But Devin can bring friends to me that give me their money over and over and over again. And so why would I get so caught up in having to have Devin be my client when Devin could refer me 10 people this year if I just serve him the right way, right? And I don't know why that feels so backwards to most people and so common sense to me.
Lynn's got a great question. She says, how do you show people you care without being salesy?
Yeah. So you know what's interesting is so my coaching company, we coach mortgage people on how to use AI. And we had a call yesterday with one of the largest mortgage companies on the retail side. And we got to the part in the call where it had to get a little salesy. And the highest ranking person on the call representing them is a friend of mine. And she stopped me and she goes, whoa, Kyle, you're getting really salesy now. And she was joking, but I earned the right to be that way because of the relationship we already have. Mm-hmm. And so I think, Lynn, the key to your question is first, we have to be willing to say no to people that we don't believe are ready. And as a salesperson, if you're not telling people no, you're not an honest salesperson. Because I tell more people no. Hey, gosh, I know you want a VA right now, but I just don't think you're ready. You don't have clarity on what they would do. You don't have enough deals coming in to make it make sense. I say no to way more people than I say yes to. And to me, that's the litmus test of, am I doing this for the right reasons or not? The people that are like, oh man, with the right scripts, you can get anybody to a yes. That's true. But just because you can get them to a yes doesn't mean it was the right yes for them. And so, Lynn, for me, I am always focused on listening. That's it. I'm not looking for the moment to pounce. I'm not looking for the moment to close. I'm just there to listen. And I've actually had a lot of people say, man, we've been on Zoom for 30 minutes now and you haven't tried to sell me anything. I go, thank you for recognizing that, because that's not what we're here for. I'm here to hear your story, to understand your pain points. And if I believe I'm the best person to help you, then I will. But if I'm not, then I'm going to be honest with you and I'm going to reposition you to the person that I think can. And some of my greatest referral sources have never been my client.
Yeah.
But they just love me so much. They are such a fan of Kyle Draper that they want me to win. And I think most people assume you can't refer me until we've done a deal together. And so that's why we fight so hard for the deal. And then, Lynn, the last thing I'll say, I apologize. My voice is
it's all good.
Sounded sexy.
Going out. That's right. Yeah, my wife's gonna be like,
rasp.
Can you be sick all the time? But Lynn, the last thing is I pay close attention to details. And so what that means to me is if I'm talking to somebody and they tell me a story about how like their son has a big baseball tournament coming up this weekend, I will text them the next week. Hey, how'd your son's baseball tournament go? And people are blown away that I remembered that. And to me, it's crazy because to me, it's just common decency, right? It's just listening to people. But that is how I keep from feeling salesy. And then I also love to tell people that I'm a terrible salesperson. And so I will tell people, and this is actually a great way to use reverse psychology, but I'll say, hey, Scott, just so you know, I'm not a great sales guy.
Okay.
We've got so much going on right now. I don't even hardly have time to follow up with people. And so if this makes sense for you a couple weeks from now, you're going to need to reach out to me because I'm probably not going to reach out to you. And just that script, people are like, wait, what? And it shows that I'm busy, right? So it checks the box for I'm successful, but it's also very honest. Like, I just enjoy having conversations with people. I don't enjoy following up with people. And so I'm just going to tell you right now that I'm probably not going to follow up with you. And it's not because I don't like you. And it's not because I don't want to be your friend, but it's because I don't want to coerce you into making a decision that wasn't your decision. And so you tell me when you're ready. And guess what, guys? I close 100% of those because they reached back out on their terms and not mine.
Love it.
Kyle, Greg said, can you put your contact info in the chat? I dropped your website. Is there better contact information you want us to put in there?
You can get anywhere from there. Yeah, KyleDraper.com. I'm Coach Kyle Draper on all things social media.
Yeah.
And Greg, reach out to me, man, however I can help you.
He means that, by the way. I read his book, just full disclosure. I read Kyle's book and watched all the videos, the very first one. And then I reached out to him on social and gave him a shout out. And I was like, hey, man, I really want to do a podcast with you. You know, would you be open to doing that? And it took us a little bit of back and forth, but we ended up doing a podcast. So when he says that, he 100% means it. Like he'll find you.
Yes, I will. And it might even feel creepy. I will find you.
It was not creepy at all.
Hey, can I tell you guys something else that I do?
Please.
So my executive assistant, who is one of my VAs, and just so y'all understand, I own 4 companies. I have VAs that run all of them. So it's like Hair Club for Men. I don't just own the company, I'm a client, right? So I believe in the power of this. It's not just a way to make money. But so my executive assistant, we use my Facebook and my LinkedIn. And every day he goes to one of those platforms and adds 10 people to a spreadsheet with their name, the link to their profile, and then the most recent significant event they can see on their profile page. And so could be that their dog died, could be that their son graduated from high school, could be that their spouse got a promotion at work. And then that is how I do my videos is I'll go, oh, there's Scott. Oh man, Scott, they just got a new puppy. And then I'll send a video to you that's like, bro, how's the new puppy? That's it, right? There's no PS. If you're looking for a VA, I know a guy.
Too easy, man. It's too easy.
Showing up, caring about people. And that so think about if you've got 3,000 Facebook friends, for $867 a month, you could have a part-time VA that was your general admin. And if all they did was scrub the data from your social media with the most recent knowledge of those people for you to just follow up with as a human being, how much increase would that create in your business? And so that's what I do every day.
Callie, I mean, it's you know, I'm not speechless much as most people know, but it's just that simple to listen, not try to, I mean, like remove that expectation, leave people better than you find them. I mean, it's such a, how do you how do you remove this will be my last, how do you remove the desperate, because we all need to sell something. So we'd have desperation. We got to pay the bills. We got living so. How do you get to a point where you remove that desperation, the frequency, change your frequency where it's like, okay, I know what I'm supposed to do. I know if I have conversations, I know if I don't sell out, things will happen. How do you remove that desperation piece?
I don't think you do. I think you have to use its energy different. And so my story, gosh, probably 7 years ago, I was speaking for all my Dallas-Fort Worth people. I was speaking in Trophy Club at their golf course. And while I'm speaking, I get a text from my wife that says our power's out. And she didn't know it, but it was out because I hadn't paid the bill because we were short on cash. And I had this come to Jesus moment where I sat in my car in the parking lot of Trophy Club Golf Club And I said, man, I could call my parents and they'd give me a couple grand. Right. And it would just delay the inevitable. I would need a couple grand more the next time and the next time. Or I could look in the mirror and go, bro, how many people have you talked to about, back then I was mostly coaching one-on-one. And I said, how many people have you talked to in the last month that expressed interest in you coaching with them, but you haven't followed up with any of them? And so now it's easy to make the joke that, hey, I'm probably not going to follow up with you because things are going well. But 7 years ago, sitting in that parking lot, I sent 5 text messages to people I'd spoke to. 3 of them became $1,000 a month coaching clients that day. And my problem was solved. And so I think the key to the desperation piece is realizing that you already have everything in your hands that you need to be successful. You just have to do something with it. Right. But it was so easy to be like, woe is me. Oh man, here we are again. Right. When the reality was the answer was right in front of me. I just had to get uncomfortable and make a couple calls, send a few text messages. And it changed my life. And I believe that that's where everybody on this call is or will be at some point. And so we've got to put our ego aside and do the action, because it's not rocket science. But here's Scott, here's what I've found interesting, and I'm as guilty of it as anybody. We love to overcomplicate what we don't want to do. And so when I am in and out of seasons of weight loss, I want to ask my healthy friends, dude, what are you doing to be so healthy? And I want their answer to be really hard. But when their answer is, man, when you get a cheeseburger, I eat a salad. When you sit on the couch, I go get extra steps in. And I go, son of a bee. It's not fair for you to make that seem so simple, because now I have to take responsibility for why I'm not doing it.
Love it.
And it's the same thing with social media, right? My sweet spot. I get questions everywhere I go. Hey, how long is the perfect video supposed to be? Hey, what platform should we do? And I always go, those are great questions, but let me ask you real quick. How many videos are you doing right now?
Yes.
0. Why? Because those questions keep them confused, so they don't feel guilty for not taking action. And that's the key to this whole thing.
Okay,
what's up, Craig? You got a question?
Yeah, I'm cracking up here. This is great. Could you repeat what you said about people stalling on not doing what they're supposed to do? I'm trying to remember the phrase you used. It was back maybe about a minute and a half there in the conversation here.
Yeah, we overcomplicate what we don't want to do.
Overcomplicate what we don't want to do. Wow.
Yeah.
What a golden line. Thank you.
Right. When I was a pastor, I would counsel couples, right? Like that were in our church. And it was crazy when you'd have a couple that came in with issues and you'd go, how many date nights have y'all been on in the last 90 days? 0. Huh. Interesting. So like y'all think y'all are in this whirlwind of crazy, when the reality is, don't you think y'all might love each other a little bit more if y'all just spend a little bit more time together? But we overcomplicate it because we don't actually want to do it. And man, that's the ugly head that rears itself over and over and over again in my life.
Love it.
Because there's really nothing at this point that's hard anymore.
Amen.
And so I'll tell y'all one last story. About 3 months ago, my garage door opener in my car broke and it quit working. And so for months, I would take my wife's out of her car when I was taking my car, and then she'd get in the car and hers wouldn't be there, right? Like y'all can just see where this is going. And for months, I just assumed
we overcomplicated things.
This is going to be so hard, right? This is going to be so hard. I don't have time for this. And so finally, 2 weeks ago, I took a picture of the back of our garage door panel in the garage. I loaded it into ChatGPT and I said, how do I reprogram my remote? My remote was reprogrammed in 3 seconds.
Oh,
And I was hopeful. My wife was gone when I did it. So she comes home and I'm like, guess what? The remote's fixed. And I thought she'd be like, you're the greatest husband ever. And all she cared about was, how long did it take? And when I told her 3 seconds, she was like, so we've struggled for 3 months for a 3-second fix. And guys, I think that's the story of our lives.
Woo.
That was
That
deep,
could
brother.
be looked at in so many different ways.
Kyle Draper, man, unbelievable. Love you, brother, more than you know.
Love you
Thank you
guys.
for being you. And anybody looking for a VA, Kyle's your guy. He's going to tell you the truth, man. So be ready. Ready
That's
with
right.
that. So Devin, what we got? Hey, Kyle, man, welcome back anytime, brother. Anything I can do for you, let me know.
100%.
Yeah, let me know where
You
you're going
got
to be
it.
at all the events. Love hearing you speak, man. You were unbelievable at MortgageCon. Thank you so much for that presentation. Unbelievable, off the hook. So thank you for preparing that like an hour before you went on stage. And
Thanks for coming on the show too.
yeah, thanks for coming on
Spreading
the
the
show.
love to
And if I can do this sick,
Yeah.
what can you do?
There you go.
So
Yeah.
Don't
go
overcomplicate
love
it.
somebody today.
Amen.